power supply in some areas of Jammu was restored after the army was called in to restore power supply in Jammu and Kashmir following a blackout in large parts of the Union Territory due to the indefinite strike by 20,000 power department employees. Personnel of the military engineering services reached the grid stations yesterday evening to help out. This is for the first time in the history of Jammu and Kashmir when the army's help has been sought for power. Talks between protesting employees and administration have failed to make any headway after the administration announced that reforms in the power sector are inevitable and they're following directions of the central government. Employees are opposing the privatization of the power development assets.
Well, it is day 3 of blackout in Jammu and Kashmir, despite the fact that the army was called to regulate, power supplies, to restore power supplies. Most of the areas are facing power outage for last 3 days. It is the worst situation which Jammu and Kashmir is facing for the first time in the history when army had to be called to restore power. Why? Because 20,000 power employees, both from linemen to senior engineers, they are on strike since Friday midnight, demanding government to reverse its decision to privatize power assets in Jammu and Kashmir, which these employees are saying have been built over the decades by the successive elected governments in Jammu and Kashmir, and the UT administration has no right to sell them off. I'm joined by Mr. Majid, who is the union leader here. There are hundreds of employees who are protesting here.
We as PDD have been running the power system in J&K since decades.
Okay.
The assets which have been created over these decades are actually the assets of people of J&K.
Okay.
These assets are right now under the garb of a joint venture being put on a plate and given free of cost to a private company, a private joint venture.
But isn't it already we have the NHPC is in whole generation has been given to NHPC?
You can see the
what is the problem now then?
You can see the effect of NHPC taking over the generation. We have Chenab Valley Power Projects, which was a joint venture with NHPC. Right now, we have out of 281 posts, 8 people from JKUT are working against that. Since 2015, not a single job has been advertised in PDD, be it as a lineman or an engineer.
Okay.
You can see the plight of those unemployed youth who have graduated from colleges and polytechnics. The joint venture which has been proposed by the government in J&K has not been proposed anywhere. Nobody is going for it. We are a corporation since 2 years only. There have been places, there have been states who have been corporations since 20 years. But this experimentation is not done there. But being right now a UT, being under the direct control of the center, we are being lab rats. We are being treated as lab rats, and all the experimentation is done from here only. So you can see the effect. Right now there are employees